A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent investment scam where returns are paid to earlier investors using the capital contributed by newer investors, rather than from profits generated by legitimate business investments. The scheme typically involves promising high returns with little or no risk, which attracts new investors who contribute funds to the scheme. Instead of investing these funds, the fraudster running the scheme uses them to pay returns to earlier investors and to sustain the illusion of a profitable enterprise. The scheme's operator, often referred to as the Ponzi schemer, advertises an investment opportunity that offers unusually high returns compared to traditional investments. These returns may be promised in the form of dividends, interest payments, or capital gains. Initially, the schemer attracts a small group of investors by delivering the promised returns as advertised. These early investors may receive payouts that seem impressive and legitimate, which helps to build trust in the scheme. As more investors become aware of the opportunity and are enticed by the high returns, they invest their money into the scheme. The schemer uses the new funds from these investors to pay returns to the earlier investors. This creates the illusion of a successful and profitable investment. Contrary to what is often claimed, the schemer does not engage in any legitimate investment activities to generate returns. Instead, the returns paid to investors come directly from the contributions of newer investors, rather than from profits earned through genuine investment activities. The schemer may fabricate financial statements or provide false documentation to make the scheme appear legitimate. This can include falsified reports of investment performance, bank statements showing non-existent funds, or misleading accounting practices. To sustain the scheme and keep it from collapsing, the schemer continuously recruits new investors. These new funds are used to pay returns to existing investors, creating a cycle of dependency on fresh capital influx to maintain the illusion of profitability. Eventually, this scheme collapses when it becomes impossible to recruit enough new investors to sustain the payouts to existing investors, or when the schemer absconds with the remaining funds. At this point, investors realize they have been defrauded, as the promised returns cannot be delivered without a constant influx of new capital. Ponzi schemes are inherently unsustainable because they rely on an ever-increasing flow of new investors to pay returns to existing ones without any genuine profits being generated. When the scheme collapses, the vast majority of investors typically lose their entire investment, as the funds have been misappropriated or exhausted by the schemer.